There is a strange thing that can happen when you are trying to improve your life. You start building a future version of yourself, and at first it feels like a good thing. It gives you some kind of direction, right? This gives you hope. It gives you a reason to take yourself more seriously. You imagine a version of who is more disciplined, stable, confident, more focused, maybe more respected, more financially free, and finally living in a way that makes sense from the outside and from the inside. And that vision can be powerful, absolutely. It can pull you forward when your current life is feeling messy. It can remind you that you are not done yet. But if you are not carefully, that future version can slowly become more important than the life you are actually inside right now. I know this feeling from building Riova here right now. There are moments where I catch myself thinking about the future version of the channel. The version where the message is clearer, the audience is bigger, the videos reach more people and help more people. The whole thing feels more established, right? And there is more visible proof than this path is working right now. And that future picture can be very, very beautiful. I love it. But if I'm not careful, it can also make the current stage feel like something I'm just trying to survive. Like this part is only the messy beginning, like the small audience, the imperfect process, the uncertain days, the unfinished system, the learning curve. All of that is just a problem to push through until the real version of life begins. And that is where the trap starts. Your present life is not just the waiting room for your future life. This version of you is not just the unfinished draft that needs to disappear before the things finally matter. The person you are right now is the one who has to do the building. It is the one who has to show up today, who has to record the video, go to the gym, make the decision, record from a bad day, face the doubt, take the next step while the proof is still incomplete. And if you keep treating this version of you like a disappointment, like an embarrassing middle stage, like someone who is only trying to escape, then you make the whole path heavier than it needs to be. This is why this topic right here now matters so much to me. Because self improvement can become unhelpful when it teaches you to hate the person you has to do the improvement here right now in the present moment. You start with a desire to grow, which is good. You want better habits, better standards, a better future, a stronger version of yourself. But then somewhere along the way, the energy changes. It stops feeling like respect and starts feeling like rejection. You're not building because you value your life. You're building because you are trying to outrun your current self. And when growth comes from self-rejection, even progress can feel intense. And the dangerous part is that from the outside, this can look like ambition. You work harder. You think more about the future. You become more serious. You optimize, plan, improve, reflect, push, adjust everything. But none of that is bad by itself, right? But inside, the question is, what energy is driving you? Are you building because you respect yourself enough to create something better? Or are you building because you believe the current version of you is not allowed to feel peace until it becomes more impressive? One path creates strength, the other path creates pressure. And I think a lot of people live inside the pressure without even noticing it. They tell themselves they will relax later, they will feel proud later, they will enjoy the life later, will be present later, you know? They will finally feel okay once the body looks better, the money is better, the business works, the channel growth, the routine is perfect, once there is more proof. And I understand that. I really do deeply. Because when you are building something, proof matters. Progress matters. It is not wrong to want results, but if you keep moving the moment where you're allowed to feel okay into the future will always have power over you. And the strange thing is, the finishing line keeps moving too. You know, you reach one level, and I think you get what I mean. And your mind immediately creates the next one. You solve one problem, and suddenly another flaw becomes the focus. You achieve something you once wanted, but instead of actually letting it land, your mind says, good, but now we need more. So you do not really arrive, you just upgrade the pressure. And over time, you become someone who can build but cannot receive, someone who can work but cannot enjoy, someone who can move forward but cannot feel the life that is already here. And it is not only exhausting because you're doing too much. It is exhausting because your relationship with yourself becomes hostile. Everything becomes a test. Your workout becomes a test, your work becomes a test, your consistency becomes a test, or your numbers becomes a test, you know? Every day turns into a small courtroom where you are trying to prove that you're finally enough. And when you live like that, even good habits can feel heavy because they are no longer just habits. They are evidence in a trial against you. This is where I want Riova to be different. I do not want this channel to become another place where we only talk about discipline, pressure, fixing yourself, optimizing everything, and becoming more productive until you forget how to actually live. Yes, self mastery matters. Yes, standards matter. Yes, ownership matters. But the mission is not to become a machine. The mission is to build a life that is stronger and more honest, but also more alive. A life where you can grow without abandoning yourself. A life where you move towards the future without treating the present like it is worthless. The present version of you is not the enemy of your future self. It is the bridge. And you do not strengthen a bridge by attacking it every day. You strengthen it by caring for it, supporting it, repairing it. It does not mean you lower your standards and call it self love. It means you stop confusing self rejection with ambition. You can want more and still respect where you are right now in this moment. In the process of it, you can be honest about what needs to change without treating yourself like you have to value nothing until it changes, right? That is a very different way of building. Instead of saying, I need to become someone else so I can finally accept myself, the energy becomes something like, I respect myself enough to build something better. That may sound subtle, but it changes everything. One comes from shame and the other one comes from ownership. One makes progress feel like punishment, and the other one makes progress feel like devotion. And when you build from respect instead of rejection, you are becoming more stable because you are not trying to whip yourself into change. You're leading yourself into it. And respect is not soft. I know some people hear this and think, okay, so we just accept everything and stop pushing. No, that is not what this is about. Respect can be demanding. Respect can say, this matters, so we are not disappearing today. Respect can say, I know you are tired, but we still need to do the honest version. That is different from shame. Shame says, fix everything now or you are nothing. But respect says, look where we are. Now let us take the next clean step. That tone matters. That is a completely other shift in your mind. The way you talk to yourself while you build becomes part of the path. If your voice inside you is constantly rejecting you, the future starts feeling like an escape room. But if the voice is firm and respectful, the future becomes a direction. One creates pressure, the other one creates momentum. This is one of the deeper forms of self mastery, you know, learning how to improve without turning your current life into something you hate. Because today still counts. This phase still counts. This room, this body, this current level, this small audience, this unfinished chapter, imperfect routine, or this version of you who is still figuring things out. It all still counts. It is so much more important than everything else out there. It may not be the final version, but it is still your life. And if you cannot learn to be present in the building phase, you may not suddenly become present in the arrival phase either. That is something I have had to remind myself of. If I cannot respect the small stage, why would I automatically feel peaceful in the larger one, you know? If we cannot receive the little signs of progress now, why would I know how to receive the bigger ones later? Presence is a skill. Receiving is a skill. Gratitude is a skill. If you never practice those skills while things are still growing, do not assume they appear automatically when the numbers look better. And this does not mean you become passive. This is the balance, you know? You can be ambitious and still live today. You can take your goals seriously and still enjoy a quiet meal. You can want a better body and still respect the one carrying you right now in the moment. You can want more money and still appreciate the lessons of this stage. Or you can build a YouTube channel, a business, a future, and still understand that your life is not postponed until it works. That is not weakness. That is wholeness. You're not choosing between ambition and presence. You are learning how to Hold both of them. So let me ask you something. What are you postponing until you become better? Are you postponing pride? Are you postponing rest? Are you postponing joy? Are you postponing self respect? Are you acting like you need to become some upgraded version of yourself before you're allowed to breathe? You do not need to answer all of that dramatically. Just notice it. Notice where you are making your peace conditionally. Notice where you say, I will feel okay when. I will rest when. I will be enough when. And then ask whether that condition is helping you to build or whether it is keeping you trapped in a constant state of not enough. What if the version of you right now is not someone to escape, but someone to lead, someone to carry for, someone to challenge, someone to discipline with respect, someone to be honest with no cruelty? If you approach yourself like that, your growth would feel different. Not easy all the time, but cleaner, less desperate, less punishing, more stable. And practically, this starts Mary's war. Do one thing today for your future self and one thing for your present self. For your future self, keep one promise, create something, train, save the money, clean the system, do the thing that compounds. But for your present self, give one moment of life back. A walk without rushing, a meal without guilt, a quiet moment where you are not trying to become anything for 5 minutes, not to escape the future, but to remember that this stage is also life. Both are needed. If you only serve the future, you become tense and disconnected. If you only serve the present, you can drift. The art is learning to serve both without betraying either. That is how you become whole. Yin and yang. You build towards the future version, but you stop treating the current version like he has no value. You let the future give you direction, and you let the present give you life. Direction without life becomes pressure. Life without direction becomes drift. Together, they become a path you can actually stay with. So do not abandon your life for your future self. Build for your best version, the future, the thing you want. Yes, respect it, prepare for it, make choices that you will thank you for later, but do not sacrifice the entire present as if it does not matter. The future version of you will still need the same inner skills you're avoiding now. Presence, emotional steadiness, honesty, gratitude, the ability to appreciate without immediately needing more. Start training those things here in this stage with this version of you. And as I already told you before, if you want to watch the whole series about this, somewhere on the end screen is the playlist link. This channel right here is here to help you master yourself without losing yourself, to help you build a stronger future without abandoning the life you are already inside. Because the version of you that you are becoming matters, but the version of you that is here right now is the one who has to get you there.